What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I will be going over all 25 challenges in the Donk vs. Lowrider playlist. Now this one I would actually say for most of the challenges aren't going to be terrible, but there is definitely going to be a few I would say that can definitely get pretty annoying. So jumping right into this, guys, the first few I do want to go over are going to be on the bottom here. I actually haven't gotten these done yet because I have not played in a crew, but luckily they're not going to be incredibly hard to do. So the first one, the West Side Hustlers win the event Hop Till Infinity in a crew. So for this, guys, all you will have to do is jump into this set event with at least one other person. Make sure you win that event, and then boom, you'll get the challenge. I think you have to win it, so if you are in that with someone, then switch back, do the event again with them, and then let them win that, and then boom, you should be good to go on that challenge. After that, guys, we have the Dirty South Dogs win the event Ride With Us in a crew with any vehicle. So for this challenge, though, all you will have to do is jump into this set event with one other person similar to the West Side Hustlers. After that, all you will then have to do is win the event, switch back again so the other person can get it, and boom, you will get the challenge completed. But besides that, though, let's now move into the top challenge over here, guys, and go all the way through them. Not going to lie, once again, I feel like many of these honestly aren't that terrible, but I do feel like one of them is going to be kind of a nightmare. But besides that, though, the first two challenges here, though, can be done basically together. This one you will have to reach a speed of 124 miles an hour in free drive, which I would say is probably going to be fairly simple. I mean, if your vehicle is even slightly upgraded, it will be done. After that, though, you will have to do 3.1 miles in free drive. I would say a lot of players, including myself, would spawn to a highway on this one. Basically, you would then accelerate to 124 miles an hour anyway, getting that one done. And then after that, guys, all you will then have to do is go the 3 miles, and the challenges are completed. And then for the next challenge, though, the Dirty Soul requires you to drive above 62 miles an hour for 10 seconds straight. So for this one, guys, it's actually going to be fairly simple to do it. One thing I can recommend, though, is basically spawn over to a highway like by the 911 freeway event and pretty much cruise up that highway at around 65, maybe 67 miles an hour. And then after the 10 seconds are done, the challenge will be completed. And then for the next challenge, though, visit the Lowrider HQ in Haleiwa in free drive. For this, I would say it might be slightly confusing for one simple thing. There is actually not going to be an HQ that you would most likely notice on this said screen, like something like one of the main events or something. For this, though, guys, the easiest way to find it is it's going to be directly above this event here. Hop Till Infinity, it's basically right above this. You'll then see like the weird thing here, which is going to be the L for Lowrider, and then you're going to see like the crates with the NPC sitting on them, the car there, and then obviously the stage. All you will then have to do is head over to this, and you'll get the challenge done. And then for the next one, though, all you will then have to do is complete 3 speed trap feats in the lovely Caprice Weasel D Customs Donk. For this, guys, if you are wondering what is going to be a good location for it, the easiest speed trap I found to do for this is easily going to be here in Honolulu, basically right on top of the Donut event here. It's going to be directly on the Mona Center. But moving over to the next challenge, though, the Dirty South Sniper. Perform 5 precision while driving the Chevrolet Caprice. Now for this, I have to admit one thing. This challenge is going to be a legit challenge, quote unquote. Bad joke, I know. But this is actually going to be fairly annoying to do for one simple thing. There is not a lot of traffic around, bro. Like, they legit don't spawn enough. If you guys are wondering for this, though, all you will have to do is basically go between 2 vehicles when they're right next to each other to get a precision. Funny thing is sometimes I wasn't next to 2 vehicles and I still somehow got one. Also, if you guys actually find 2 vehicles next to each other and it's a fairly decent area, I would actually recommend using the rewind thing and basically doing that 5 times to get this one completed. And then for the next two challenges, once again, I would say both of these are most likely going to be done together. The West Side Cruisins drive 3.1 miles in free drive, and then we also have reach 124 miles per hour in the lovely Buick GNX. For this, guys, once again, hit that highway up. You're most likely going to get the 124 miles an hour fairly quick. Go as fast as you can, and you'll get this one completed. And then for the next challenge though, it's going to be just like the other one we did indeed do earlier, except for this one you basically have to use the Buick GNX. Drive above 62 miles an hour for 10 seconds straight. One way I found to do this though, guys, you're afraid of going too quick and maybe hitting something and then going under 62 miles an hour, is maybe put the car in like 4th or 5th gear and cruise around with it at around 65 miles an hour and boom, you'll get this one done. And then moving over to the next challenge, visit the Donk HQ in Wahiawa in free drive. So for this, all you will then have to do is basically head over to Wahiawa, which if you are wondering is going to be the small area or like the small city here in the middle of the map. But once you are here in Wahiawa though, finding the Donk HQ is actually going to be fairly simple. The easiest and closest spawn point I found is going to be the speed trap located here. Funny thing is, guys, the Donk HQ is basically to the left of it, so this is pretty much the closest you can get to it. And then moving over to the next challenge though, complete 3 speed trap feats. For this one I have to admit once again I would recommend just heading over to the Mona Center. I feel like that's probably going to be one of the easy speed traps to do with basically any vehicle. And then moving over to the next challenge though, open 3 treasure boxes with any vehicle. For this one, all you will basically have to do is fly around in like a plane or even drive around for a bit, find 3 of the treasure boxes, and then boom, this challenge is completed. And then moving over to the next challenge though is probably going to sound a bit confusing, but funnily enough it's actually going to be really easy to do it. Perform a grind for 10 seconds while using the Buick GNX. So for this, all you will simply have to do is go over to the Gymkhana Park. This is actually going to be the easiest place to do it. I would actually recommend spawning over to Rocket Science here, because it's basically going to be right next to one of the guardrails. For this, guys, you basically have to drive around in a circle, go over the guardrail, and keep doing that back and forth until you get it completed. And then moving over to the next one though, perform a perfect warm-up in the event Get It or Donk come back. I saw what they did there. Before this challenge though, it is going to be fairly simple to do this one. So simply spawn into the event, guys. It's basically going to have a warm-up thing. You're actually going to see 3 like diamond type of things pop up on your screen. They're actually going to turn like a reddish color, so when they do, make sure you hit like the gas button. It's then going to turn blue. You will have to do that 3 times. After that, all you will then have to do is basically hit that gas button on go, similar to like a drag event, and you'll get this challenge completed. And then for the next challenge though, win the event still GNX. So all you will have to do in this one is basically spawn into the event. You can actually have this one on like level 1 to make it a bit more simple, or at least get it done quick, which is actually what I did. Simply win the event and you'll be past this one. And then for the next challenge though is win the event The Return of the D, which is kind of a weird name for that, which is odd. Before this though, all you will have to use is the Pontiac GTO The Judge, similar to the previous event, guys, while using the Weasel. All you will then have to do is win this event, whether it's on level difficulty 1 or 5. As long as you win it, it gets completed. Alright y'all, so we have come to the challenge right now, the West Side BPM. Validate 100 notes in a row in the event Some Car to Dance with difficulty level 3 or more. I'm not going to lie right now, this challenge is honestly going to be incredibly annoying for many people, and I would almost guess a lot of players are going to look at this one and go, you know what, bro? I'm good, man. I don't need that title anyway. Like, it's legit like that. So a few things I did notice about this challenge, though. Number one is I actually did this one on level 5 difficulty. Why? The weird part about this, though, is I found this a bit easier to follow it. That way you're actually going to get to 100 notes a bit quicker, instead of getting to some of the really annoying parts in the actual event itself, to where it's going to be incredibly quick hitting these same few buttons in a row every time I did it. So I actually found this one to be a bit easier on the 5th difficulty, because you actually got to 100 notes quicker. The next thing I noticed, guys, I don't know if anybody else was doing this, but I have to mention it. If you guys are using your analog stick, do not do that anymore. I also did that. What I would actually recommend doing is using the D-pad with the arrows. It's much quicker, and you can actually get the ones completed and also get the right ones validated way easier than using something like an analog stick. Funny thing is, during the summit video, I actually used the analog sticks. It is definitely not the best way to do it. But I'm not going to lie though, the Side BPM is probably the most annoying challenge in the entire playlist. And then for the next one though, we have the Win the Event Donks Don't Kill My Vibe. This one is also going to be fairly similar to the previous challenge, where all you will have to do is win it, and you'll get the challenge done. And then for the next two challenges, both of these are actually almost going to be the exact same thing. So for this, you will have to register a Buick in the custom show, and then you'll have to register a Chevrolet in the custom show. All you guys will simply have to do is fast travel to it, pretty much pick the Chevrolet that it lets you use in it, register that one, then go and re-register a Buick right after it, and you'll have both the challenges completed. And then for the next challenge though, you will have to complete all of the photo ops. So for this one, I am going to have each photo op timestamped. That way you guys can get all of them done as quickly as possible.
Speak to you soon, driver. The next one is bound to be breathtaking. Set your sights and let's start the show.
And now for the final challenge here in the Donk vs. Lowrider playlist. Find all the Donk vs. Lowrider collectibles located in the residential neighborhoods. So for this, there is actually going to be a total of 7 of them, each of which are going to be timestamped to get each of them as quickly as possible.